It began as the vision of two brothers. Bring the story of a broken family with incredible power to life and challenge the world to unlock its dark secrets.
We just wanted to make places, not games.
Myst became a phenomenon, changed an industry.
It opened up the idea that the mass market audience might actually be entertained with computers.
And a brilliant video game could finally be called a work of art. Year after year, game after game, the Myst franchise thrilled millions and challenged its creators.
I don't think we realized how tough it would be.
To push masterful storytelling, epic adventures, and the technology of groundbreaking gameplay to the limits.
I think we finally arrived back where Rand wanted to be in the first place.
A decade after Myst stunned the world, the grand finale to the best-selling CD-ROM game of the 20th century has returned to the hands of its creator.
This thing is the best game we've done. Things are alive.
Alive and awaiting their fate at your hands. Of all the players in the Myst saga, no one is more surprised at its incredible success than creators Rand Miller and his brother Robin. As the sons of a preacher moving from town to town, Robin and Rand's love of adventure came from travel and books.
Growing up with Lord of the Rings and the Narnia series, authors that built places definitely shaped us.
After college, Rand was programming software at a bank. Robin was pursuing his interest in art and music. In 1987, they decided to combine their skills.
Siam was founded by my brother and I, really for the purpose of making worlds. And we just wanted to make places, not games.
With 3 critically acclaimed children's products to their credit, the brothers decided to try their hand at a game for adults. To Rand, mature meant sophisticated, not guns or gore.
Instead of using violence as a hook in Myst, we used a story that draws you in. We start with the history and the idea behind why this place is here, and we actually add gameplay to that.
Their new project would be an adventure with story-driven puzzles set on an abandoned island. Players would have to uncover the dark secrets of the family who once ruled it. Taking Myst from paper to screen with 1991 technology was a serious challenge.
We were intent on making the images from Myst look as realistic as possible. The computers at the time, there was no way they could show those images in real time. So we built these images to be still images that we would render. Playing movies on the computers at the time required movies the size of postage stamps. So we had to design that into the game.
The team packed Myst with 2,500 rendered shots and 60 minutes of animation. Every button, handle, door, and character was animated as a QuickTime movie and incorporated into a slideshow to simulate a player's progression. To save money, Robin and Rand tackled the acting roles essential to the storyline. As in life, Rand would play the guiding force behind Myst.
Catherine, my love.
Atris.
Something terrible has happened. It's hard for me to believe. Most of my books have been destroyed.
Organic layered sound design added a rich dimension to the game.
We've always gone to great extremes to try and add in realistic sounds, and we're just as particular with the sounds as we are with any of the graphics. Oddly, we weren't going to put any music in Myst when we started. Robin wrote a few pieces just as an experiment. The music gave it such an emotional feel that we immediately switched gears and said, okay, we've got to put music in here.
After 3 years of intensive work by a team of only 7, Myst was unveiled. Rave reviews in Newsweek, the New York Times, Rolling Stone, and leading software awards generated attention. Myst also had a powerful PR machine, not a high-priced agency, a growing fan base singing its praises on the web. By 1997, Myst was a phenomenon, earning more than $130 million, the first game to rival a Hollywood blockbuster.
It opened up the idea that the mass market audience might actually be entertained with computers.
In the 4 years after the release of Myst, Rand co-authored 3 novels chronicling the adventures of Atris and his father, a dark and wondrous journey. During a road trip in 1994, Rand and Robin realized that it was time to write the next chapter.
We were determined to do something better than what Myst was. That we were saying, we're not going to disappoint ourselves. This has got to be something that's better from our point of view.
The brothers estimated it would take about 2 years to finish a sequel to Myst. They were wrong. With the blockbuster success of Myst, hailed by fans and critics alike as a masterpiece, Rand and Robin Miller embark on an impossible journey to create a worthy sequel, Riven.
But the idea is to make it feel as much like a...
The new game would require a larger staff, and Cyan moved its world headquarters from a garage to a former mattress store, while a new home was built in Meade, Washington, just outside of Spokane. Riven would introduce Gen, Atris's father, a brilliant man with a god complex, who is holding Atris's wife Catherine captive on the island of Riven.
Atris sent you to save me.
Before players could rescue her, they would have to navigate a strange world filled with devilishly complex puzzles. So would its creators.
We were stumbling around trying to find a style for this thing, trying to hit on something.
They hired former Industrial Light and Magic and Disney designer Richard Van der Wende to take the game in a new direction.
He imbued the whole project with a flavor that was a bit more edgy and strange and odd, with a lot of talent.
And Riven was becoming far more difficult to create than Myst. The team was forced to throw out their computers and upgrade to the Silicon graphics workstations and software used to create the groundbreaking effects in Jurassic Park.
The Warwick in particular is a great example of that because a lot of the underlying structure is real. The way the thing breathes and where the muscles are. It seemed like an animal, but not like an animal that anybody had ever seen before.
The new technology also made integrating live-action characters possible, but far from easy.
I don't think we realized how tough it would be. The hoops you have to jump through when you're doing that to make that come alive is incredible.
Ultimately, Riven would require 5 times the animation of Myst. With 5,000 individual shots, real-world textures, unrivaled detail. The 2-year project stretched into 4 years. In 1997, Riven finally reached the store shelves. Sales were not strong. They were phenomenal. 2.2 million units. Riven became the best-selling PC game of the year. Once again, fans reveled in the groundbreaking gameplay, and critics raved about video games as an art form. The franchise was at a peak of success, yet poised to leave the House of Cyan.
We said we would never do another sequel to Myst, and the publisher came to us and said, hey, we got a great deal for you, and this company wants to do it, and we said no.
Rand had already committed Cyan to another project, so their publisher hired Presto Studios, known for the Journeyman series, to create the next leg of the adventure. Myst 3, Exile.
When we found out we had gotten the contract to do Myst 3, I mean, it was such an overwhelming honor The only thing you could really equate it to is being in the film industry and having George Lucas say, "I'd like you to make the next Star Wars for me."
Presto would have only 2 years to make the world's best-selling PC game even more immersive.
We really felt we had the opportunity to push the boundaries of pre-rendered 3D graphics to really create an exceedingly detailed, realistic world.
Exile's story began 10 years after Riven. Atris and Catherine have begun a new life and are raising a newborn daughter, Yisha, when their world is shattered by Sabidro, who seeks revenge for the evil deeds of Atris's sons.
My sons, I promised to teach you the secrets of my ages.
The really early decision that we made was to try to create a lot of deliberate puzzles. The Lesson Age concept gave us a great foundation to start from.
The technological stakes and production values were raised. Each of the 5 mystical ages needed a separate team of designers, modelers, texture artists, and animators.
We really tried to encourage each one to pursue a very individual approach to their age. So we've got some very strong, distinctive visions.
The design of each scene was based on a photograph. Designers created a model, animated it, and mapped real-world textures onto the surface, bringing to life a fantastic and strange world. A new game engine was built to combine live action with incredible graphics and real-time animation. Myst fans would soon be stunned to discover a 360-degree panoramic view and the ability to look in any direction.
The player really feels like they're there. They can look up at the sun and see it glaring in their eyes. They can look down a ladder and climb down it.
In May of 2001, Myst 3, Exile, was released and embraced by Myst fans and critics alike, immediately topping PC game sales charts. The Myst franchise now stood among the giants of truly great games. Rand said he was ready to move on to other projects. Without him, there could be no more Atris, no more sequels. The unprecedented success of Myst, Riven, and Myst 3 have put Rand Miller in the pantheon of game creators. In 2001, he said no to a sequel. Myst 4 would instead be created by Ubisoft's development team in Montreal. Fans wondered if the franchise and the story would continue to thrive without Rand at the helm.
When Ubisoft approached me to write Myst 4, it was really exciting for me. I had immersed myself so much in the characters that I knew them so well. I was completely confident in my ability to bring another story to life around them.
Myst 4's narrative began 1 decade after Exile. A mysterious explosion on the island of Tomana results in the disappearance of Yisha, Atris and Catherine's daughter. It would be up to Myst fans to find her. Game designers were determined to add more detail to everything. Clouds, water, creatures.
Chaque créature a son petit parcours à elle, a sa propre vie, se déplace sur à peu près 2 minutes, ce qui fait que c'est toujours différent.
To add a new level of realism, developers enlisted the cutting-edge Alive system, artificial life interactive video environment. Live action characters could now be fully integrated with gameplay.
Action!
Better yet, Rand had changed his mind. Atris was back and in top form. After animators breathed life into the creatures and their environment, cinematic sound design gave them a voice.
C'est plus de 2 mois à faire le bruitage organique, afin de sonoriser les différents puzzles, les créatures et le live action.
Composer Jack Wall was chosen again to carry Myst's musical torch and create a score as big as the adventure.
Un peu comme dans un très bon film, la musique, traditionnellement, la plupart des Myst ont un très bon score et une très bonne musique.
In late 2004, after a long 3-year wait, the most lifelike Myst yet was complete. Reviews were stellar. Myst 4, Revelation, had earned its place as a worthy sequel. In late 2003, Ubisoft realized that the Myst franchise had become an epic story of its own, spanning a decade, with groundbreaking gameplay and 4 award-winning titles. The final chapter and grand finale, Myst 5, End of Ages, would have to be written, crafted by the man who started it all.
Most of what Myst is about is beginnings and endings, things coming full circle, and Myst 5 is the same way.
Development on Myst 5, End of Ages, began in early 2004. As always, Rand's deeply personal narrative will embed the new game with emotion and adventure.
I don't want to give away too many secrets, but Atris's family situation has changed a bit. In the original Myst, there was a couple of his sons who basically went off the deep end.
Bring the red page to me.
In Myst 5, Yisha, Atris and Catherine's daughter, has gone off on her own. Players must discover where she has gone and what she has done. Ever since Myst, Rand had wanted the games to be fully alive, but the technology simply wasn't there. Until now. Myst 5 would have real-time 3D.
I think we finally arrived back where Rand wanted to be in the first place. We finally have the tools and have the technology and, we're able to deliver on their original dreams.
Still, the team puzzled over how to give computer-generated characters a new level of realism.
Our Avatar guy at the time pitched this idea that, hey, let's take a real actor and film their face. Tony and Rand built this crazy rig. It does 2 things. It adds a whole lot of realism that we wouldn't ordinarily have, and it saves us the time of having to animate the face, which is, that's genius.
Speed and action.
Choose wisely in the end.
A bit of animation genius borrowed from Myst. Movies seamlessly mapped into gameplay. In this case, characters' faces. And pulling it off would be critical to creating their most immersive game ever.